December 10th, evening. My phone buzzed while I was making dinner. Text from Dad. Dad, Christmas too expensive this year, keeping it small, just immediate family. I stared at the message, read it twice, then typed back. Me. Okay, set the phone down, stirred the pasta, immediate family. I had a son, Ethan, 7 years old, their grandson. Apparently we didn't count. I'd always been on the edge of family. Not quite in, not quite out. Just there. I lived 2 states away. Different career path than what my parents expected. Tech industry instead of the family construction business. Made good money, but in a way they didn't quite understand or respect. My brother Derek lived 10 minutes from our parents. Sister Vanessa lived 15. They saw each other constantly. Sunday dinners, random weeknight visits, school pickups for each other's kids. I visited holidays, called weekly. Sent photos of Ethan, first day of school, baseball games, missing teeth, birthday parties. Mom would text back, "So cute," or a heart emoji. Dad rarely responded. But somehow I'd been classified. Filed away in their mental system as extended family. Derek and Vanessa were core. The immediate circle. The ones who mattered most. And me? I was optional. Lisa, my wife, had pointed it out years ago. They don't treat you the same, she'd said after a particularly awkward Thanksgiving where we'd been seated at the kids' table despite being in our 30s. I'd made excuses. We live far away. They see Derek and Vanessa more often. It's natural. It's not natural, she'd said. It's a choice. She was right. I just hadn't wanted to see it. Until December 10th. When Dad made it official. Just immediate family. I didn't tell Ethan right away. What was I supposed to say? Grandpa says Christmas is too expensive, so we're not invited? Instead, I told him we'd have our own Christmas, just us, make new traditions. It would be fun. He seemed okay with it. 7-year-olds are resilient like that. Accept what you tell them. Don't question the adult world too much yet. Lisa was furious. Too expensive? They have money. Your dad just bought a new truck. He said he's keeping it small. Small doesn't mean excluding your grandson. She was right. But what could I do? Show up uninvited? Demand to be included? I'd spent my whole life trying not to be a burden to them. Trying to prove I was fine on my own. Independent. Successful. Not needing their approval or help. Maybe I'd succeeded too well. December 20th. Evening. Ethan and I were decorating our tree. Small Douglas fir we'd picked out together. He was arranging ornaments on the lower branches, the ones he could reach. Concentrating hard. Tongue sticking out slightly the way he did when he was focused. Lisa was working late. Holiday rush at the hospital. So it was just us. Christmas music playing softly. Hot chocolate cooling on the coffee table. My phone buzzed. Instagram notification. Derek had posted a video. I almost didn't open it. But curiosity won. The video loaded. Started playing automatically. Christmas party. At my parents' house. I recognized the living room immediately. The fireplace. The built-in bookshelves. The couch I'd grown up sitting on. Derek filming. Panning across the room. Mom and Dad. Derek's wife and kids. Vanessa. Her husband. Their 2 kids. Everyone in matching Christmas pajamas. Red and white plaid. The expensive kind from those specialty stores. Hot chocolate bar set up on the dining table. Marshmallows. Whipped cream. Candy canes. Multiple thermoses. Presents under the tree. Wrapped in coordinated paper. Bows. Name tags. Kids opening gifts. Laughing. Wrapping paper everywhere. Chaos and joy. The camera panned to Mom. She was laughing. Holding one of Vanessa's kids. Completely content. Caption: Best Christmas Eve. Eve with the fam. The video was 43 seconds long. I watched it 3 times. Ethan looked over my shoulder. Is that Grandma's house? I turned the phone face down. Too late. Yeah. Why didn't we go? I could have lied. Said we were busy. Said it was too far to drive. Said something that would protect him from the truth. But I was tired of making excuses for them. We weren't invited. His face changed. Not dramatic. Just a small shift. Confusion mixed with something else. Hurt, maybe. Or the beginning of understanding that the world isn't always fair. Why? I don't know, buddy. He stood there for a moment, ornament still in his hand. Then he turned back to the tree, hung the ornament carefully, didn't ask anything else, just went back to decorating, silently. That silence was worse than tears. I sat on the couch, picked up my phone again, watched the video one more time. Too expensive? That's what Dad had said. But there were gifts, coordinated wrapping paper, matching pajamas. Those weren't cheap. I'd seen them advertised. $40 per person minimum. For 8 people, that was over $300 just for pajamas. Hot chocolate bar with all the fixings. Decorations. The tree itself looked professionally done. None of that screamed, keeping it small because money's tight. It screamed, we're having a party and you're not invited. The lie was what hurt most. If Dad had said, we want to keep it to people who live nearby, or we're doing something small this year with just Derek and Vanessa's families, at least that would have been honest. But too expensive? That was calculated. Made it sound like a financial decision. Made me feel guilty for even questioning it. Except I knew something they didn't know. Something I'd been keeping secret for 5 years. I'd been paying for things. A lot of things. Quietly. Anonymously. And if Christmas was too expensive to include my son, maybe it was time to stop. 5 years ago, Dad's car loan had fallen behind. 3 months overdue. I'd overheard Mom on the phone with him at Thanksgiving. Stressed. Worried about repossession. I'd called his bank anonymously. Set up an automatic payment from a separate account I'd opened just for this. $450 a month. Told the bank to list it as an anonymous donor contribution. Some banks allow that for hardship cases. Dad never questioned it. Just accepted that someone, maybe a charity, maybe a bank error in his favor, was helping him out. The payments went through like clockwork. For 5 years. Total, $27,000. Then there were Mom's medical bills. She'd had surgery 2 years ago, complications, follow-up treatments. Even with insurance, the costs piled up. I'd called the hospital billing office. Paid $12,000. Told them to mark it as an insurance adjustment and not to contact the patient about it. Mom got a statement showing a zero balance. Never questioned it. Last year, another $8,000 in treatments. Same process. Total, $20,000. Vanessa had been struggling with daycare costs. $800 a month for 2 kids. I'd contacted her daycare center. Set up a subsidy program payment. Covered half. $400 a month. Told them it was through a community grant. Don't mention it to the parent. She'd been so excited when she got the notification. Called Mom crying happy tears about this miracle program she'd been approved for. Total over 2 years. $9,600. Derek's mortgage had fallen behind last year. 3 months. He'd been at risk of foreclosure. I'd called his mortgage servicer. Made a lump sum payment of $4,500 to bring him current. Told them to mark it as a bank error reversal and not to contact the borrower. He'd told everyone at Christmas dinner last year that his bank had made a mistake and corrected it. Everyone laughed about his good luck. Total, $4,500. When I added it up, really sat down and calculated it, I'd given them roughly $18,000 a year for 5 years. $90,000 total. Anonymous, no credit, no recognition, just helping because they were family and they needed it. And I could afford it. Lisa and I both worked. Good salaries. No debt. Ethan's college fund was healthy. We lived comfortably. So I helped. Quietly. But sitting there on December 20th, watching that video of my family in their matching pajamas opening presents at a party I wasn't invited to because Christmas was Too expensive? Something shifted. They had money for coordinated pajamas, for a hot chocolate bar, for presents and decorations and whatever that party cost. They just didn't have room for my son, a 7-year-old kid who'd done nothing wrong except have a dad who lived too far away to be convenient. I looked over at Ethan. He was adjusting a silver bell on a branch, making sure it hung just right. His face was calm, focused. But I knew him. Knew the way he got quiet when something hurt. He'd gone back to decorating without another word because he was processing, trying to understand why his grandparents didn't want him at Christmas. And I couldn't give him an answer that made sense, because there wasn't one. They'd chosen matching pajamas over their grandson. That was the truth. And the more I thought about it, the clearer it became. I'd been subsidizing their lives for 5 years, paying for Dad's car, Mom's medical care, Vanessa's childcare, Derek's house, $18,000 a year. Enough money to make their lives significantly easier. Enough that they could afford things like Christmas parties with matching pajamas and elaborate decorations. And they didn't know. They thought they were managing on their own, that their finances were stable, that the anonymous donors and insurance adjustments and bank errors were just lucky breaks. But it was me, and they'd just used that financial breathing room, the breathing room I'd given them, to throw a party that excluded my son. I stood up, walked to my office, closed the door, sat at my desk, pulled up my banking app, my separate account, the one I used for all the anonymous payments, looked at the scheduled transactions, 4 recurring payments, plus the contact information for Mom's hospital billing and Vanessa's daycare. I could stop them. Right now. With a few clicks. Part of me felt guilty even considering it. They needed this help, didn't they? But another part, a bigger part, was done. Done being invisible. Done being optional. Done funding the lives of people who didn't think my son was worth including. I thought about Ethan's face. That moment of confusion and hurt. The silent acceptance. And I made my decision. Tomorrow morning, I'd call the bank. Cancel Dad's car payment. Call Mom's billing office. Email Vanessa's daycare. Contact Derek's mortgage servicer. All of it. Gone. If Christmas was too expensive to include us, then I'd stop making their lives less expensive. They wanted immediate family? They'd get exactly that. Without my money. Without my help. Without my son asking why he wasn't good enough. I closed the banking app, walked back to the living room. Ethan had finished the lower branches. Was standing back, admiring his work. "Looks good, buddy," I said. He smiled, small but real. "Can we put the star on top?" "Absolutely." I lifted him up. He placed the star carefully, centered it, made sure it was straight. We stood there, looking at our tree, just the two of us. And I realized something. This was our immediate family. Me, Lisa, Ethan. That was enough. More than enough. And tomorrow, everyone else would find out just how much they'd been taking for granted. December 21st couldn't come soon enough. December 21st, 8 a.m. I sat at my desk with coffee and a list. 4 phone calls to make. Maybe 5 emails. 20 minutes? Tops. 5 years of help. Gone in less time than it takes to watch a sitcom. Lisa stood in the doorway. "You're sure about this?" "They excluded our son from Christmas because it was too expensive, while spending money I've been secretly giving them." "Yeah, I'm sure." She nodded. "Okay, do what you need to do." First call. Dad's bank. The automated system recognized my account number, transferred me to a representative. "I need to cancel an automatic payment I've been making to another account." "Can I have the account number?" I read it off. Dad's car loan account. "That's $450 monthly, correct?" "Correct. Cancel it. Effective immediately." "May I ask the reason for cancellation?" "Personal decision. Just cancel it, please." 3 minutes. Click. Done. $27,000 in support. Erased with 1 phone call. Second call, hospital billing office. This one took longer. Had to navigate their phone tree. Finally reached a human. I've been making payments on account number. I read off mom's patient ID. Under an insurance adjustment arrangement. I need to reverse that and restore the original balance. Silence on the other end. Then, sir, I'm not sure I understand. You want us to charge the patient again? The payments I made weren't from insurance. They were personal. I'm withdrawing that support. The patient needs to see the actual balance owed. More silence. Keyboard clicking. I'll need to speak to my supervisor about this. Can you hold? Sure. 5 minutes of hold music. Then a supervisor. I explained again. She sounded confused but ultimately agreed. They'd send mom a corrected statement showing the full balance. $20,000. This will go out in the next billing cycle, she said. Within 7 to 10 days. Perfect, thank you. Third, email to Vanessa's daycare. I'd set up a separate email account years ago for these anonymous payments. Professional sounding, generic name, easy to make look official. Subject. Subsidy program. Account termination. Body. Please be advised that the community grant subsidy for Vanessa's names account is being discontinued effective immediately. This month's payment will be the final one. Please notify the account holder that standard rates will resume next billing cycle. Thank you. Sent. $9,600 in childcare support. Gone. Fourth, Derek's mortgage servicer. This was trickier. The $4,500 payment had been one time, not recurring. But I had their contact information, called the customer service line. I made a lump sum payment on account number. I read off Derek's mortgage account. Last year, $4,500. It was marked as a bank error reversal. I need you to update your records to show that it was not a bank error. It was a personal payment that is now being withdrawn. Sir, if the payment already went through, we can't just remove it retroactively. I understand, but you can update your records to reflect the source accurately, and you can notify the account holder that no future payments of this nature will be made. He's been counting on assistance that won't continue. The representative sounded skeptical but said they'd make a note in Derek's file. Not as clean as the others, but enough. 20 minutes total. 5 years of financial support. Ended before my coffee got cold. I sat back, stared at my list. 4 check marks. Done. Lisa appeared with more coffee. How do you feel? Weird, guilty, relieved, angry, all of it. That's fair. They're going to panic when they figure it out. Probably. Part of me feels bad about that. She sat down across from me. Ryan, they excluded Ethan from Christmas, a 7-year-old, their grandson, because it was too expensive, while wearing matching $40 pajamas and drinking fancy hot chocolate. You don't owe them guilt. She was right. But old habits die hard. I'd spent my whole life trying not to be a burden, trying to prove I was fine, independent, successful. And somewhere along the way, I'd started taking care of them instead. Quietly. Anonymously. Without recognition. Because that's what you do for family, right? Except they'd just shown me exactly how they defined family. And I wasn't in it. Neither was my son. So why was I funding their lives? December 23rd. Morning. My phone rang. Dad. I almost didn't answer. Let it go to voicemail. But curiosity won. Hey, Dad. Ryan, something weird is going on with my car payment. My heart rate picked up. Oh? I got a notice from the bank saying my automatic payment assistance has been discontinued. Do you know anything about that? Why would I know about your car payment? I don't know. I just thought maybe you'd heard something. You work in tech. You understand these systems. Sounds like you should call the bank and ask them. I did. They said the anonymous donor canceled. But I never knew who the donor was in the first place. How can someone just cancel after 5 years? Maybe they ran out of money, or decided to help someone else. I don't know, Dad. Why are you calling me about this? Silence. Then, I just thought, never mind. I'll figure it out. He hung up. I sat there, heart pounding, hands shaking slightly. First domino down. December 26th. Afternoon. Mom called. I was helping Ethan build a Lego set. Christmas morning had been good. Just us. Pancakes, presents, no stress, no feeling like we weren't enough. I let it ring. She called again. And again. Finally answered on the fourth try. Ryan, I need to talk to you about something. Her voice was stressed. Higher pitch than normal. What's up, Mom? I got a bill from the hospital. A big one. $3,000. But I thought this was all covered. There was an adjustment last year. Insurance took care of it. Now they're saying I owe everything? That sounds frustrating. Did you call the billing office? I did. They said the adjustment was reversed. That it wasn't actually from insurance. That someone had made personal payments and then withdrew them. Ryan, I don't understand what's happening. Sounds like whoever was helping you stopped. But who was helping me? I don't know anyone who would just pay thousands of dollars anonymously. I stayed quiet. Let the silence stretch. Ryan? I don't know what to tell you, Mom. Maybe call them again. Ask for a payment plan. A payment plan? Ryan, this is $3,000. We don't have that kind of money just sitting around. Then I guess you'll need to figure something out. More silence. Then, you sound angry. I'm not angry. I'm just busy. Is there anything else? No, I hoped you might have some advice. My advice is to call the billing office and work out a payment plan. That's what people do with medical bills. I hung up. Second domino. December 27th. Evening. Group text. Family chat. Vanessa. Vanessa. Does anyone know anything about the daycare subsidy program? They sent me a letter saying it's ending, after 2 years. No warning. Just discontinued effective immediately. Mom. What? Why? Vanessa. I don't know. The letter doesn't say. Just that it was a community grant and now it's over. I called them and they said they can't give me more information. Just that the funding source withdrew support. Derek. That's so weird. Same thing happened with my mortgage last year. That bank error that fixed my payment? My servicer called today and said there was a note in my file about no future assistance. I didn't even know I was getting assistance. Dad, my car payment help ended too. On the 21st. Anonymous donor. 5 years. Just stopped. Long pause in the group chat. Dots appearing and disappearing. Mom. This can't be a coincidence. Vanessa. What are you saying? Mom. I'm saying someone has been helping all of us, anonymously. And they stopped. All at once. Right after Christmas. Derek. Who would do that? My phone was on the coffee table, face up. I watched the messages roll in. Didn't respond. Lisa sat next to me. They're figuring it out. Yep. Are you going to say anything? Nope. More messages, speculation, confusion. Mom suggested it might have been a charity. Dad wondered if it was a relative they didn't know about. Vanessa was panicking about daycare costs. Nobody mentioned me, not yet. But I could feel it coming. December 28th, 10 p.m. Dad called. I was in bed. Reading. Ethan asleep down the hall. Didn't answer. He called again. And again. On the fourth call, I answered. Ryan, we need to talk. Now. It's 10 p.m., Dad. I was sleeping. No, you weren't. And this can't wait. What's so urgent? Was it you? Silence. My turn to let it stretch. Ryan, answer me. Was it you helping us? Helping you with what? You know what? The car payment, your mother's bills, Vanessa's daycare, Derek's mortgage. Was that you? Why would you think it was me? Because you're the only one with enough money, and you're the only one who would do it anonymously, without telling anyone, without asking for credit. I sat up, turned on the lamp. And if it was me? Then how could you just stop? How could you cut us off like that? We depend on that help. There it was. Not, thank you. Not, we're sorry we didn't know. Just accusation. Anger that the money stopped. You depend on help you didn't know you were getting? Interesting. Don't be smart with me. If you've been paying for things, you can't just stop without warning. That's cruel. Cruel. The word hit hard. You want to talk about cruel, Dad? Let's talk about cruel. I've been helping you for 5 years. $27,000 for your car. $20,000 for Mom's medical bills. Almost $10,000 for Vanessa's childcare. $4,500 to save Derek's house. Silence on his end. Complete silence. $90,000 total. Anonymous because I didn't want recognition. I just wanted to help. Because you're family. Ryan. And you use that money, the financial breathing room I gave you, to throw a Christmas party with matching pajamas and a hot chocolate bar and presents for everyone. Everyone except my son. Because Christmas was too expensive. That's not, we didn't know. Exactly, you didn't know. You thought your finances were stable on their own, that you could afford nice things, but you couldn't. I was subsidizing your life, and you used it to exclude my kid. I could hear him breathing, trying to find words. Put Mom on the phone, I said. What? Put Mom on. Muffled sounds. Voices. Then Mom. Ryan, honey? I'm going to ask you one question, and I want a real answer. Okay. When you decided Christmas was too expensive, when Dad texted me that it was just immediate family, did you think about Ethan? Silence. Did you think about your 7-year-old grandson? Did you consider what it would feel like for him to see videos of a party he wasn't invited to? More silence. Mom, answer the question. We just wanted to keep it small. That's not an answer. Did you think about Ethan? The silence stretched so long I thought the call had dropped. Finally. No. We didn't think about how it would affect him. We just wanted something simple with the kids who live nearby. There it was. The truth. They hadn't thought about him at all. Okay, I said. That's what I needed to know. Ryan, please. I'm done funding your lives. I'm done being optional. I'm done making excuses for why you treat us like we don't matter. You do matter. No, we don't. Not the way Derek and Vanessa do. Not the way their kids do. We're extended family. You made that clear. That's not true. It is true, and I'm okay with it. Really. I'm just not paying for it anymore. Dad got back on the phone. So what? You're punishing us? Because we hurt your feelings? No, Dad. I'm setting boundaries. There's a difference. By cutting off help we need? Help you didn't know you were getting. Help you thought was charity or bank errors or insurance adjustments. You'll survive. You'll just have to budget, make choices, prioritize. Like I did for 5 years while secretly paying your bills. Ryan, if Christmas was too expensive to include us, then my help is too expensive to include you. Fair is fair. I hung up, sat there, heart racing, hands shaking, but not from fear. From relief. I'd said it, all of it, the truth, and I was done. December 31st, evening, New Year's Eve. Lisa, Ethan, and I ordered pizza, watched movies, made popcorn, counted down to midnight even though Ethan fell asleep at 10. My phone was on silent, but I could see the notifications piling up. Family group chat. 47 messages. I didn't read them. Just muted the whole conversation. Lisa noticed. Not even curious what they're saying? Nope. Really? Really? They had 5 years to thank me, or notice, or appreciate. They didn't. Now they're panicking because their finances are falling apart. That's their problem, not mine. She smiled, raised her sparkling cider. To boundaries. To boundaries. We clinked glasses. At midnight, the new year arrived. Fresh start, clean slate. And for the first time in 5 years, I wasn't secretly carrying anyone's financial burden but my own. It felt incredible. January 2nd. The notifications kept coming. Derek, Vanessa, Mom, Dad. I deleted them unread. Blocked Dad's number after he called 14 times in one day. Left the family group chat entirely. Changed my voicemail to, "If this is a family emergency, please contact Lisa directly." Otherwise, I'll get back to you when I can. I knew what they were doing. Panicking, scrambling, trying to figure out how to cover their bills without the anonymous help they'd been taking for granted. Part of me wondered how bad it was, but a bigger part didn't care. They'd made a choice on December 10th. I'd made mine on December 21st. And I wasn't looking back. Ethan didn't ask about grandparents, didn't mention Christmas. Just went back to school happy and rested. That's how I knew I'd made the right choice. When does your kid stop expecting love from people who won't give it? That's not sad. That's healthy. And I was done teaching him to beg for scraps from people who had a whole feast they wouldn't share. January turned into February. Life continued. Work, school drop-offs, dinner, bedtime routines. The ordinary rhythm of a family that had stopped waiting for validation from people who wouldn't give it. Ethan seemed fine. Better than fine, actually. No more questions about grandparents. No more sad face when other kids talked about visiting family. He'd just moved on with the easy acceptance kids have before the world teaches them to hold grudges. I envied that. My phone stayed quiet. I'd blocked Dad's number, left the group chat, changed my voicemail, built a wall of silence that felt more like peace than punishment. Then my cousin Emily called. Emily was the only one in the extended family who'd always treated me like I existed. Birthday calls, random texts, actually showed up to things. She lived 3 states over, so we weren't close, but there was a baseline of genuine care. "Hey," she said when I answered. "I heard about Christmas." "Which version did you hear?" "Derek's version, then Vanessa's, then your mom's." "Want to give me yours?" I told her. All of it. The too expensive text, the Instagram video, Ethan's face, the 5 years of secret payments, the decision to stop. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, "Holy shit. Yeah. They've been telling everyone you abandoned them in a crisis, that you're punishing the whole family over a misunderstanding." "Of course they are. But they excluded Ethan, a 7-year-old. That's not a misunderstanding, that's a choice." Hearing someone else say it out loud helped. Validation from outside the spiral. "Thanks for calling," I said. "I'm on your side, for what it's worth. And I'm getting married in July. You're invited. Them too, obviously, since they're family. But I wanted you to know you're wanted. Actually wanted. I'll be there." "Good. Bring Ethan. He can be a ring bearer if he wants." After we hung up, I felt lighter. One person. That's all it took. One person who saw the situation clearly and didn't make excuses for the people who were wrong. February 14th. Valentine's Day. I was leaving work, walking to my car in the parking lot, when I saw her. Vanessa. Leaning against my car. Arms crossed. Looking tired. I almost turned around. But she'd already seen me. "Ryan, I need to talk to you." "How did you know where I work?" "Mom told me." "Look, can we just talk?" 5 minutes. I unlocked my car, threw my bag in the back seat. "You're timing this conversation, so make it count. I'm losing my daycare spot." "Okay. Okay, that's it? You don't care?" "Vanessa, why would I care about your daycare situation?" "Because you're the one who took away the subsidy. The director said there's a waiting list for the discount program. I can't afford full price. I might have to pull the kids out." "So pull them out. Find somewhere cheaper. Figure it out." She looked stunned. "You're serious?" "Completely." "Ryan, I'm your sister. And Ethan is your nephew. Didn't stop you from excluding him from Christmas." "That wasn't my decision. Mom and Dad, you were there, in the matching pajamas, opening presents. You didn't say, 'Hey, where's Ryan and Ethan?' You just went along with it." She shifted uncomfortably. "I didn't think it was that big a deal." "Because it wasn't happening to you." "Look, I'm sorry, okay? I should have said something. I should have thought about Ethan. You're right, I messed up." I waited. She stood there expecting absolution. "But I need you to restart the daycare payments, please. I can't afford to lose this spot." And there it was, the real reason for the apology. "You're not sorry you excluded Ethan," I said. "You're sorry it's costing you money. That's not fair." It's completely fair. You didn't apologize until it affected you personally. That's not remorse. That's damage control. So what, you're just going to let me struggle? Watch me fail? You're not going to fail. You're going to budget, cut back, prioritize, like I did when I was paying $400 a month to help you while apparently not mattering enough to invite to Christmas. She opened her mouth, closed it, tried again. I don't know what you want me to say. Nothing. There's nothing to say. You made your choice. I made mine. I got in my car. She stepped back. I could see her in the rearview mirror as I drove away. Standing there. Probably texting Mom about how cruel I was being. Good. Let them think I was cruel. Better than being invisible. March 15th, Tuesday afternoon. Lisa came home from work waving her phone. You need to see this. She handed it to me. Text from my mom, photo attached, Dad's truck, not in their driveway, parked on the street, in front of a rental house I didn't recognize. Caption: This is what you did. I zoomed in. The truck looked the same. Maybe a little dustier. Where is this? I asked. I don't know. But apparently your dad's truck got repossessed. They're blaming you. I didn't repossess his truck. The bank did. For non-payment. I know that. They know that. But it's easier to blame you than admit they couldn't afford the payments without your help. I stared at the photo. Tried to feel something. Guilt? Regret? Sympathy? Nothing. Just a weird detachment. Like looking at a news story about strangers. Are you going to respond? Lisa asked. No. Really? Really? What would I say? Sorry the bank took your truck after I stopped paying your loan for 5 years? That's not an apology. That's just facts. She smiled. Took her phone back. Good. I was hoping you'd say that. The truck repossession became family legend, apparently. According to Emily, who kept me updated despite my best efforts to not care, Dad had to borrow Derek's car for 2 weeks until he could scrape together a down payment on a used sedan. Something affordable, practical. The kind of car I'd been driving for years. April brought a new surprise. Email from Vanessa. Subject line: Outstanding balance. I opened it expecting another guilt trip. Instead, an invoice. Itemized. Professional looking. Back daycare payments owed $9,600. Per our verbal agreement, these payments were to continue indefinitely. Early termination without notice constitutes breach of contract. Payment due within 30 days. I read it twice. Then I started laughing. Not polite chuckling. Full body laughing. The kind that makes your stomach hurt. Lisa came running. What's wrong? Vanessa sent me an invoice. For the daycare money I was paying anonymously. She's claiming breach of contract. What contract? Exactly. I forwarded the email to Lisa. She read it. Started laughing too. Is she serious? I think so. Look at the formatting. She made this in Excel. Put effort into it. What are you going to do? Screenshot it. Save it. Laugh about it occasionally when I need perspective on how entitled people can be. I never responded to the invoice. Never acknowledged it. Just let it sit in my inbox as a monument to audacity. 30 days came and went. No follow-up. No collections agency. Just silence. Because what was she going to do? Sue me for stopping anonymous payments? Good luck with that. May 8th. Early morning. My phone rang. Unknown number. Usually I don't answer unknown numbers. But something made me pick up. Ryan, it's your mother. You're calling from a number I don't recognize. Your father's phone. You blocked him. But we need to talk. I'm busy. Your father had a health scare. Nothing serious. But the doctor said his stress levels are dangerous. This situation with you is making him sick. I should have felt something. Concern, fear, guilt. Instead, okay. Okay, that's all you have to say? What do you want me to say, Mom? I hope he recovers. I do. But this isn't on me. He wants to make things right. We both do. But you won't answer our calls. You've cut us off completely. I set a boundary. There's a difference. It feels like cutting off. Because you're used to me being available whenever you decide you need me. I'm not doing that anymore. So you're just going to let your father suffer? His stress is from facing consequences, not from me. If he'd been honest about Christmas, if you'd thought about Ethan, if anyone had apologized to him instead of just trying to get the money back, we wouldn't be here. Silence. Then, what do you want from us? I want you to understand what you did, not to me, to Ethan. We know we should have included him. Do you? Do you actually know? Because you haven't said it to him. You've apologized to me about money, about the logistics, about the misunderstanding. But nobody has looked at my 7-year-old son and said, I'm sorry we made you feel unwanted. More silence. We didn't mean to hurt him. But you did, and you still haven't acknowledged it. Not really. You're just upset the money stopped. That's not true. Then prove it. Come up here. Look Ethan in the eye. Tell him you're sorry, not me. Him. Ryan. Until then, nothing changes. I'm not funding your life. I'm not pretending we're immediate family when you've made it clear we're not. I'm just living my life. With my actual immediate family. We're still your family. Are you? Because last Christmas you made it pretty clear we're optional. Extended. Not immediate. I'm just agreeing with your assessment. I hung up, hands shaking, heart pounding. But not from anxiety, from certainty. May 28th, Saturday. Emily's bridal shower. I'd RSVP'd yes, for Emily, not for them. The shower was at a country club 2 hours away. Garden setting. Elegant. Emily had good taste. I showed up alone. Lisa had work. Ethan was at a friend's house. Walked in. Immediately spotted my family, mom, dad, Vanessa, Derek's wife. They saw me. Expressions shifted. Surprise. Discomfort. Something else. Emily rushed over, hugged me. You came. Of course, wouldn't miss it. They're here too. Behave, all of you. She said it loud enough for everyone to hear, drew a line in the sand. This was her day. No drama. I nodded. Found a seat far from them. Made small talk with people I didn't know. Ate tiny sandwiches, drank mimosas, played the games, and avoided eye contact with my parents. Until the hallway. I'd stepped out to take a call from Lisa, check in, make sure everything was okay at home. When I came back inside, Dad was waiting, blocking the hallway, looking older than I remembered. Tired. Ryan, can we talk? This isn't the place. I know, but you won't answer my calls, and we need to clear the air. For Emily's sake, I'm not making a scene, but we don't need to clear anything. Please, just listen. I sighed, crossed my arms. 2 minutes. We know we messed up, with Christmas, with the money, with everything. Your mother and I have been talking. We want to fix this. Okay, how? He blinked. What? How do you want to fix it? What's your plan? We want you to come to family things again. Be part of the family. I was part of the family, until you texted me that Christmas was too expensive and didn't invite us. We didn't think, exactly, you didn't think, about Ethan, about how it would feel. You just wanted what was convenient and assumed I'd understand. We're sorry. Are you? Because nobody has apologized to Ethan. You've apologized to me, about money, about logistics. But you excluded a 7-year-old from Christmas. Have any of you even thought about what that did to him? Dad looked down. Silent. That's what I thought. What do you want from us? I don't want anything. That's the point. I'm not asking for apologies or money or recognition. I'm just done. Done being optional. Done funding your lives while being treated like I don't matter. Done teaching my son to beg for love from people who make him feel unwanted. He's our grandson. Then act like it. Don't just say it when it's convenient. Actually show up. Actually think about him. Actually include him. We will, I promise. I've heard that before, from both of you. It doesn't mean anything anymore. I walked past him, back to the party. Found Emily. Said my goodbyes. Left early. Drove home with the windows down. Music loud. Feeling something close to free. June the 2nd. Evening. Kitchen table. Ethan's 8th birthday was in 2 weeks. Lisa and I were planning it. Small party. His friends from school. Bounce house. Pizza. Cake. Should we invite your family? Lisa asked carefully. No. You're sure? Completely. They had their chance. They made their choice. Ethan might wonder why they're not there. He hasn't asked about them in months. I think he's already processed it in whatever way kids do. He's moved on. And you? I moved on in December. She reached across the table, squeezed my hand. Good. We sent invitations to school friends, neighbors. Emily, who said she'd try to make it but was busy with wedding planning. Lisa's family. My actual family. No one from my side. No mom, no dad, no Derek, no Vanessa. And when the party came, no one noticed they were missing. Because the people who showed up were the ones who actually cared. And that was enough. More than enough. It was everything. July 4th. Emily's wedding. Ethan was the ring bearer. Took his job seriously. Delivered the rings without dropping them. I watched from my seat, proud. My parents were there, 5 rows back. We nodded at each other when we arrived. Polite, distant, like acquaintances. During the reception, Ethan played with other kids, ran around, ate cake. Nobody from my family approached us, just space, distance. When we left, Emily hugged me. Thank you for coming. Beautiful wedding. I'm glad you're finding your happiness too. On the drive home, Lisa asked, how was it, seeing them? Fine, they stayed in their space. I stayed in mine. August 12th. Tuesday. Workday. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Ryan, it's Derek. I hadn't heard his voice since December. What do you want? Dad's in the hospital. He had a stroke. My stomach dropped. Is he okay? Doctors think so, minor stroke, but he's asking for you. I sat down at my desk, processing. When did this happen? This morning. Mom called right after the ambulance left. We're all here, Vanessa, me. Dad's awake, stable. But he wants to see you. Part of me wanted to go. The son part. The part that still remembered him teaching me to ride a bike, helping with homework, being proud when I graduated college. But a bigger part remembered December. The text, the Instagram video. Ethan's face falling. Tell him I hope he recovers. That's it? You're not coming? I'm not coming. Ryan, he had a stroke. He could have died. I know, and I'm glad he's okay. But showing up doesn't fix what happened. It just makes you feel better about not fixing it sooner. That's cold, man. Maybe, but it's honest. Mom's going to be devastated. Then she'll feel what Ethan felt when she excluded him from Christmas. Derek was quiet. Then, I don't know what you want from us. I don't want anything. That's what you're not getting. I'm not punishing you. I'm just not participating anymore. In family? In pretending. In hoping. In waiting for you to care as much about my kid as I do about yours. He hung up. I sat at my desk, hands shaking. Called Lisa. Derek just called. Dad had a stroke. Minor. He's okay, but they want me to come to the hospital. Are you going? No. Okay. Are you okay with that decision? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Yeah, I am. He almost died. And I almost broke my son's heart watching him be excluded from Christmas. We both survived. We'll both keep surviving. Separately. If you change your mind, I won't. And I didn't. I sent flowers to the hospital. Card read, wishing you a full recovery. Nothing more, nothing less. Mom texted me 2 days later. Thank you for the flowers. Your father was touched. I didn't respond. December 8th. 1 year later. Text from unknown number. Unknown. Ryan, it's Dad. New phone. This year is different. Everyone invited to Christmas. No exceptions. Please come. We miss you and Ethan. I stared at it. First time he'd mentioned Ethan by name in a year. I walked to Ethan's room. He was building Legos. Hey, bud, do you want to go to Grandma and Grandpa's for Christmas this year? He looked up, thought about it, shrugged. Not really. Can we do our thing again? With the tree and hot chocolate? Absolutely. Okay. Back to his Legos. No sadness, no longing. He'd moved on. I picked up my phone. Me. No thanks. We have plans. 3 dots appeared. Dad. But we're family. This is important. Me. Family doesn't exclude kids. You taught me that last December. Have a nice Christmas. The dots appeared and disappeared. Then nothing. Lisa hugged me. How do you feel? Free. December 25th. Christmas morning. We woke up slow, made cinnamon rolls from scratch. Ethan tore into presents with pure joy. Everything was perfect, even though nothing was expensive. My phone stayed silent. No calls, no texts, no last-minute pleas. They'd gotten the message. After breakfast, after Ethan was occupied with his new Lego set, I sat on the couch with coffee and thought about the past year. $90,000 in support. Ended. 5 years of anonymous help. Finished. A relationship with my parents. Over. Not dramatically, not with screaming or ultimatums. Just quietly. The way things end when everyone stops trying. They'd survived without my money. Barely, according to Emily. But they'd made it work. Dad's used car, Mom's payment plan, Vanessa's cheaper daycare, Derek's budget adjustments. They were fine. We were fine, separately. And I realized something sitting there. I didn't need revenge. I just needed boundaries. I didn't need them to suffer. I just needed them to understand. And whether they understood or not didn't matter anymore. Because I'd redefined immediate family. It wasn't about blood or proximity or tradition. It was about presence, effort, love that showed up consistently. And sitting there Christmas morning, watching my son play, drinking coffee with my wife, I knew we had that. We had everything that mattered. March, baseball season. Ethan made the local Little League team. Played second base. Was terrible but enthusiastic, which is all that matters at 8. I sat in the stands every Saturday. Cheered when he got on base. Consoled him when he struck out. Brought orange slices for the team. Other parents chatted about family visits, grandparents coming to games, extended family barbecues after. One dad talked about his father-in-law never missing a single game in 3 seasons. And I realized, nobody from my family knew Ethan played baseball. They didn't know he'd moved up a reading level, lost another tooth, started asking philosophical questions about space that I had no idea how to answer. They didn't know his friends' names, his favorite subject. What scared him? What made him laugh? They didn't know him. Not because of distance or the silence I'd created, but because they'd never cared enough to ask. Even before December. Even before Christmas. Even during the 5 years I was quietly paying their bills and making their lives easier. I'd been sending photos, updates, stories about his life. They'd been responding with emojis and so cute, and moving on to talk about Derek's kids or Vanessa's kids. Because Ethan was optional, extended, not immediate. And realizing that, really seeing it clearly, didn't hurt anymore. It just was. A fact. Like gravity. Like seasons changing. They were who they were. And I was who I was. And those two things didn't intersect the way I'd once hoped. Late April, Ethan's baseball game. He struck out twice, got 1 hit, ran the wrong direction once. I cheered for all of it. After the game, he ran to me, sweaty, happy, grass stains on his uniform. Did you see my hit? I saw everything. You were great. Can we get ice cream? Absolutely. At the ice cream shop, he talked nonstop about the game, his friends, next week's practice. Not once did he mention grandparents, or ask why they weren't there. He'd stopped expecting them months ago, and watching him be happy, genuinely happy, without them, that's when I knew. I hadn't just set a boundary, I'd set us free. We were immediate family. Me, Lisa, Ethan, and the people who couldn't see our worth? They were the ones missing out. Not us. Never us.